kept my head in the clouds with no intention of coming down. But then you came and you saw and then you left. Now I walk through new towns, wasted, fucked up and proud of each creation, destruction, what comes next. Darling, all that I do in the absence of you, I check the boxes where my list stays the same. And I can move forever with my willingness to change. And if you lived here, you would be home now. If you lived here, you would be empty your pockets right now. You're gonna pay me somehow. Look, man, you don't want a problem with me. And I walk past him each day, strung out, awkward, afraid. In broad daylight, it's safe so long as all can see. 2 more blocks to the car, mine are lives to discard. Can't stop, keep going, it's always almost within reach. I'll change the backdrop, but this track's about me. And if you lived here, you would be home now. If you lived here, you would be I can't, I won't, please make it stop. You're moving on, forget me now. I'll hold you close, just one more time. I'll let you go, we'll say goodbye. I kept my head in the clouds with no intention of coming down. But then you came and you saw and then you left.
There we go.
Here we go. How you doing, man?
Good. Good. Very good.
Awesome. Well, welcome back to the Goat Cave podcast. Today we've got special guest Chris Johnson. Chris is a photographer. He does video. He is an all-around awesome tall-ass dude, and he loves motorcycles as well. But before we jump into that, I got a couple BMX updates for you. So Vans Canada and Toronto video is out on Dig BMX. It features Dylan Lloyd, Mike Gray, Justin Hughes, and Shijo from Merit. All those dudes fucking kill it. Like, it's so cool to see spots that I've ridden get absolutely annihilated. Like, up rail to switch whips and just, you know, the craziest shit. Especially when you've got, like, Dylan Lloyd and Mike Gray. Those dudes are unreal. Another really cool video that came out was the Mad Mike's Jamtastic Voyage. So it's like a DIY jam held in a like outdoor skating rink, and it's so fucking cool. It's just like pallets everywhere. It was really interesting to see something like that. I really feel like I need to do a DIY jam at some point because it's just a whole other vibe. And then Cult Fake Too Fast for Food came out as well. And that video is unreal. Like, the whole DVD is crazy for, like, it's a bone death video, so of course it's crazy. But Cult Fake is just on another level too. He's got, like, every video he's done is always so good. Just jumping off of shit. It's crazy. Alrighty, so we got one last song, and then we're on to the interview. So this song is by a English-speaking ska band from Japan. They're called Mason's Party. And here's their newest single, Son of a Bitch. Alrighty, and we're back. Chris,
Yes.
you are a photographer. You are a video guy.
Yeah.
You are a moto guy. You do vlogs.
Yeah, I
You
do.
snowboard.
Mhm.
You are an all-around, always doing something dude. How are you doing?
Good, man. Life's been busy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just riding the motorbike all the time?
Yeah. Always trying to stay busy, just do something. Otherwise, if I don't, I just go crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But how long? I guess we're here today because, you film, I film. You
Mhm.
take photos, I don't, but,
Same thing.
yeah, same thing. And mountain bike and BMX has kind of brought us together, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Over the years, I had heard your name, and I've known you for probably close to 6-7 years now. But even when I started riding in Kitchener, I'd always heard, Chris Johnson, tall guy, rides like a big BMX bike essentially. So I guess let's start with this. How long have you rode mountain bikes for?
I want to just give like the classic answer, like, oh, I've ridden forever. But I'd say like legit almost 11 years now, like doing like dirt jumping and street riding. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you always ride street, or were you a park kid at first?
Oh man. I guess just started riding street when I started riding. There wasn't really parks. There was the odd, but that was so far away from us.
Yeah.
Riverside wasn't even there.
And the odd, for anybody that's never been there, it's not a skate park, man.
No.
It's just a bunch of shit thrown in a big square, essentially. And don't get me wrong, because I fucking love that park. That is literally my favorite park in the whole world. It's so dumb and like so stupid, but that's my home park. I love that fucking place. But yeah, it's not a park. Like
It's really fun, but
Yeah.
it was. How old is it, man? It's built in like the 80s.
oh yeah, it's fucking old. It's definitely past its prime.
Yeah.
Did you ever ride BMX at all, or was it just mountain bike right from the start?
I did. I rode for like 3 months. I had this buddy, and he broke his leg, and at the time, he was out for whatever, the 2-3 months. So I was riding his BMX a bit, like just at Riverside. That was before I really ran pegs like on my bike, and I just got hurt for like 3 months. I just crashed all the time. So I just went back to the mountain bike, stuck with it.
That's awesome. Do you think just a small bike was so weird for you, or?
Yeah, I don't know. And he was a pretty small dude too, so like maybe that didn't really help.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't know if it was like trying to learn new stuff with the pegs or whatever. But yeah, I just kept crashing, man.
That's awesome. So how did you get into doing photos and videos then?
Well, I started with photos, definitely. I just bought a camera. Like we were out riding. It was before we had like real like dirt jumpers, I guess is what you'd call them.
Right.
I just bought a camera because me and my friends were always out, having fun, and I just wanted to take pictures of it. And they sucked for like a long time, but
That's awesome. That's kind of a similar story with me. So I started just by taking photos, and none of us were that great at the time. We definitely like had our fair share of tricks and whatnot. But after a couple months, for myself, photos got boring, and I wanted to start doing video stuff. So that's how we started Fuck Asses, and that's why it's even called that. Is just because it's a bunch of fuck asses with a camera, like just idiots. Do you remember what your first camera setup was?
yeah. Canon Rebel XT, and it just had like a standard lens on it.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure I had the same camera as my first camera as well.
I think a lot of people did. It was pretty popular.
Yeah, it was definitely not a cheap camera by any means, but it was a very, very, very versatile, small camera to start with.
Yeah, like a starter DSLR. Pretty much.
Yeah, it was really, I shot like one of the best photos I've ever taken in my life with that camera too, which is awesome. It really just shows you don't, a lot of the times people, they update their body for their camera so often and everything. It's really just down to the lens and the person that can actually shoot, right? So
yeah, I mean, having like a really good setup helps with some stuff.
of course. If you don't know how to do that kind of stuff, though, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah. So then how did you get into video?
I wanted to say like we were on Pink Bike and we'd always just watch like people making videos and edits and we just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I think I might have filmed my first. I'm sure I grabbed like a point and shoot from my parents and we'll like just film dumb clips or whatever. But I think I made my first ever edit on like an iPod when
That's
they had
funny.
video cameras on them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The first edit that I ever made, similar thing. I just took a point and shoot camera and then basically for like a whole season, I would just film videos of like my friends and I at the odd.
Yeah.
And just like movie maker on a shitty laptop that barely worked. And like I was so dumb at that point that I didn't realize you had to take the clips off the camera to edit them.
Oh yeah.
So I would just always do it with the camera plugged in, and then my camera died.
Mm-hmm.
Like while it was plugged in. And I'm like, oh my God, like all this shit is fucking gone now.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? But we're definitely way past that now. I'm using like Premiere and Final Cut and everything else. So
good old movie maker.
yeah, right. What's your current camera setup?
Canon T2i.
How long have you been shooting with that?
Man, a long time. At least 8 years.
Have you ever thought about upgrading at all or not?
Oh
really?
yeah, definitely. It's a lot of money.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But the photos that you're taking with that camera, Chris, are absolutely unbelievable. Like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, it really doesn't matter. And like, you're proof that you can use something older and it will definitely look good. Like, it's all about the person shooting it. And I don't know how you do it, but a lot of the photos that you take when it's at night, you don't shoot with a flash, you don't shoot with any light or anything like that, and it always comes out crisp and looking good. Like, I don't know how you manage to do it, but...
Yeah, I don't know either. A lot of practice. I mean, I'd love to have, like, all the gear and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just money, and it always ends up going somewhere else.
Oh, of course, right?
But working towards that stuff now. Taking it more seriously, so...
Do you have a dream camera setup at all?
Right now, I really want an 80D, just because they shoot... Well, I like the Canon.
Yeah.
That's what I'm familiar with. I know all the buttons.
Right.
And then they're not the craziest quality, but I mean, you don't need the craziest quality. Most people are just posting their stuff on Instagram anyway.
Exactly.
And then it does video in 1080 60, and I know everyone's like, oh, 1080p, it's got to be 4K, but it's like, dude, whatever. It looks good, right?
Half the people that are complaining about this don't even have a 4K monitor. They don't have a computer that can deal 4K.
Yeah.
Like, that was my thing, is I, after Space Goats, was really considering doing 4K, but, I think I'm just going to stick with my old cameras,
Hey, man, if it
fine.
works.
Exactly. At least, like, my stuff is done in 1080i, and it's done onto memory cards now through my HVX, but it's not, to me, it's not a big deal. Like, it's just BMX footage. It looks fine anyways.
Yeah.
So I definitely can say that I'm not really a big fan of like mini DV tape anymore, or just that like 4:3 ratio at all. I just don't like it. But I think that mainly has to do with, everything that we have now is shaped for 16:9. That is just the way that it is. So doing something with 4:3 to me just doesn't make sense, because you've just got empty space on the screen. You should try and fill it at least.
Yeah, it does look kind of weird.
I think it's just because, our TVs aren't that shape anymore. Our monitors aren't like that. Our phones aren't squares. Yeah. So
even now, people are pushing more towards like, well, I guess not widescreen, but for like phones and stuff,
Yeah.
Everything's just changing so much.
Exactly. Like, even the webcam I use for this podcast is 4K. I don't have the internet to even process it. Like, it won't, it's not fast enough for live streaming, at least. So, oh well. What kind of stuff have you been shooting lately then?
Oh man, lots of stuff. A lot of out on the dirt bikes, just because that's, what I've been doing. I shot like track racing yesterday, like sport bikes on a track.
Nice.
So that was really, really cool to do. I got like a last minute opportunity to do it.
That's really
and
cool.
Canceled all my plans and got up at 5 a.m. and made it happen.
That's sick. Yeah, that's fucking awesome, man. So how did you get into doing like moto vlogs and stuff? And how did you even get into doing moto stuff in general?
Well, the moto, I was working this job. My buddy he went away for a week. I filled in, and then I started working there full time.
Yeah.
he was going to leave, and the place is kind of out in the country. Like there's no bus route, you know, it's hard to get to. And I never had my license. I just never bothered with it because, you know, I was too busy riding bikes. And as I don't know where everyone's listening, but here in Canada, and I'm pretty sure in the States too, if you go write your G1, your beginner's car license, you can't drive for at least 8 months. If you go write your M1, you can buy a bike tomorrow and ride it. So I did the logical thing, and I bought a motorcycle.
It's funny how that works too, because in my mind, I don't drive either, and that's where I'm going. Like, that's what I want to do. I fucking don't want a car yet because the payments on it are ridiculous. Even if you buy a shitty used car, cool, but then you can't drive it for 9 months on your own.
Yep.
You're going to have to deal with, you know, a lot more stuff. And to me, I feel like I'm probably just going to go in and write my M1 and G1 the same day, get it done.
Yeah.
Then I can drive, you know, a car with somebody, but my main mode of transportation would be a motorbike.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Plus, I mean, I'm sure just like me, you just feel more at home on two wheels.
Oh, of course. I ride my bike everywhere. Like, I'm either riding my BMX, you know, to the park, or even just commuting a little bit on it, or I'm riding my road bike or a fixed gear, you know, just fucking getting around on it. That's just how I feel, is just better on two wheels. So.
Yeah, it just feels normal for me. Like when I'm even driving a car, I mean, yeah, you get more used to it the more you do it. But just like having always like look around and you're looking here and there, it just, I don't know. And then plus that bike I have, man, it's just like having a mountain bike again. Like, could do whatever I want.
Oh, exactly. I feel too that driving a car, it's like such a big thing in the road.
Yeah.
Whereas on a motorbike, it's so small. Like, you can maneuver so fast, so quick.
Yeah.
You can get out of a lot of stuff. And even just on top of that, like, you really don't have the same awareness on a motorbike. Like, it's so small that it doesn't really matter too much. In a car, you have to be paying attention everywhere. And even just like, you know, it sounds so stupid, but even on a motorbike, like literally just parking it, pull in, get off, go.
Yeah.
Car, you're gonna have to, you know, if you're parallel parking, you might have to redo, you might have to do all that shit. But
it's easy to park that thing, man.
Oh, exactly, right? It's definitely not the main thing on why you should get one, but
no, I mean, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't say like if you've never thought about it, probably don't do it.
Yeah. What's your insurance like on it?
Oh, I pay just under $200 a month on that.
That's decent.
I guess pretty steep for a bike, but I guess if you have a car as well, your bike goes down as your secondary vehicle, and that's when it gets like
cool.
But the same thing, like I don't want to spend all this money to get a car and then spend on car insurance just to have less on my bike, right?
Yeah, exactly. How many cc is your bike? And I've always heard that if you get a bike that's under 500 cc, your insurance will be way lower.
Yeah, I think so. That bike's a 250.
Okay.
So it's pretty small.
Yeah.
Great bike to start on, though.
That's awesome. That's really cool, man.
I love it. It's so great.
What kind of bike is it?
Kawasaki KLX 250.
Got to do a Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Yeah, it's great.
That's awesome. So let's get back into mountain biking a little bit and some video stuff. So you have made a series, quote unquote, called Guanch.
Yeah.
So how did the Guanch crew come to be a thing, and when did you guys start filming the first video?
I don't know when exactly we started. It took us 2 years to film the first one, and we're in the third year filming for the second one. So like 5-6 years ago, the idea probably came up. I think we were all on Pink Bike a lot at the time, and I know I just messaged my buddy CR.
Yeah, CR's from Toronto. He's like a street mountain bike legend in Toronto. Everybody knows who CR is.
Yeah,
which is sick.
He's the dude, man.
Yeah.
He's great. But I'd ridden with him a few times because the same thing, like through Pink Bike, and there's not that many people that do exactly what we do that are like really just into riding street on mountain bikes. It's kind of a strange idea.
Yeah.
So I'd gone out and ridden with him a few times. My buddy Nate was around too. We'd go out to Toronto and get our parents to drive us out there or whoever.
Yeah. And
I just messaged him one day and was like, dude, like we should try to do something, like make a video or like start like a little, not like a team, I guess, or like a crew or whatever.
Yeah, a crew.
Yeah, so we just tried to put together like a few people. And I think the The original crew would have been me, him, his buddy Gabby, my friend Nate, my buddy Morgan. Can't believe I almost forgot about Morgan. We've been riding forever. And this kid, Glenn, who doesn't ride anymore, but he was the OG.
That's awesome. What kind of stuff were you filming at first with everybody? Was it just littler stuff, or was it right off the bat heavy hitters?
I mean, we all have pretty different styles. Like, I'm pretty into the more like jibbing stuff or like finding interesting spots.
Yeah.
Stuff with the pegs. And then CR, he just sends it.
Yeah.
And Gabby used to be the same. He'd jump off bigger stuff. Morgan likes to jump off bigger stuff too. And then, me and Nate always kept it a little more
street and a little bit more like newer BMX style, I guess, if that makes sense.
And then now we have our buddy Cole, who we kind of brought into the squad after the first year.
Yeah.
Or the first video. And he's just killing it, man. He's running the pegs and the free coaster too. He's sending handrails and stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he kills it.
I think it was CR. There's a photo that you took of a dude on a ledge with another down ledge like this, and tires to tires on it. Did you know that spot is now gone? It's been demolished.
That spot is gone.
Yeah, I'm like 95% sure I saw a photo of it being ripped out the other day.
Oh man,
like, how fucking sad is that?
They've done a lot of stuff at that school, and we're not going to tell people where it is.
Oh no,
that's not actually CR.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure his name is Guillermo.
Okay.
He's from Spain. I don't want to get that wrong.
Right.
That was just a dude I found on Instagram.
That's sick.
Which is crazy enough. Just, through Instagram, finding people and stuff. And then he kind of got hooked up with the Rise dudes.
Yeah, the Rise is fucking sick. Those dudes are unreal, man.
Yeah, they're killers. But they did their tour, their Party Master tour. Maybe it was like a different thing. But that's why he was down.
Right.
And I just remember like meeting him, and we kind of like looked at each other, and we like said each other's like Instagram names, and he was just like, "My boy."
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't think he spoke the best English at the time, but you could just tell like instantly there was like a good vibe there, and
that's sick.
He's a nutcase, man. That's
awesome. So one of the things that I love just about action sports in general is that there is no other form of like, let's say entertainment or whatever you're doing that you can fucking message somebody from across the world and be like, hey, you like BMX? I like BMX.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I come over to your house and stay at your house for 3 days?
Yeah.
And if anybody doesn't know what I'm kind of talking about, my buddy Ben from Ireland, as well as he was in the UK before he left, him and his girlfriend Jess bought an RV and they traveled to Canada. So, they bought the RV in Canada, obviously. Yeah. But then they're just traveling across Canada. I had never met this dude before. I get a message from my buddy Neil from the UK, who writes for Ride UK magazine. He let me know that they're going to be sort of in my area. I gave him my phone number. I was like, here, send this over to him. A couple weeks later, get a knock on my door. Ben's here with his girlfriend, and they're staying in the RV out front for like 3 days. Like, all we did is just ride BMX all weekend. Like, how fucking cool is that? Like, somebody that likes football from across the world can't message somebody that also likes football. Like, that's not going to happen.
I don't know.
What are you doing, you fucking weirdo?
Maybe there is people out there like that are like, dude, do you love bowling? Like,
yeah,
but
bowling.
I think incredible. I think it's a lot to do with bikes, and you hear stories like that with motorcycles as well. I don't think it's as common, just because a lot. I feel like a lot like you get different people in motorcycling compared to even bicycles. I feel like BMX specifically though, it's
a whole other thing.
Yeah, I don't even know how to put it into words, but like if you ride, you understand. Like,
oh, of course,
you just instantly you're like, oh sure, yeah, I'll put this dude up. I'll ride with him. I'll show him around.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's always fun to show people what we do in this area.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things that like somebody that's not from here, they come here expecting, maybe there won't be a scene at all, but it's kind of nice to prove that this scene in Kitchener-Waterloo or even just this area is alive and well, and that there's something here, So
I think it's kind of like what we talked about before we went live. Like, you get people who are so passionate about something.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just, I don't know, you wanna share it with people, and you want everyone to like enjoy it and be a part of it.
Yeah. No, it's so true. So going back to the Guanch video, the first one,
Hmm.
I think by far my favorite clip is within like the first 5-ish minutes, and it's you going up on a bank, and there's a sign
Yeah.
that's kind of like bent already, and you're
Yeah.
just doing a foot plant over the sign, but it kind of moves a little bit.
Mhm.
So you go up and you do the foot plant, and you slip out,
Yeah.
and you get sacked by this fucking sign.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that is the funniest fucking clip.
Yeah.
So how did that clip even come to be a thing? Where did you find the spot? Just name the city, don't name the actual area, but
Yeah, I mean, it was in Toronto. It was just the same thing. Like whenever we go out there, CR and Gabby, they always have spots for us. You know, they're showing us around, and the sign wasn't even like part of the spot. He's like, "Oh, hey, there's this bank around the corner. We'll go check it out." And we were messing around a bit, and I saw the sign, and I was like, "Oh, it'd be pretty cool to foot plant over that."
it would be a hell of a fucking cool foot plant, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
And so I started looking at it, and it was wiggling a bit. I tried to jam some stuff in there to like make it not wiggle as much.
Yeah.
The whole thing was sketchy. You had to like run in between two parked cars and run out between two parked cars. And I did one. It wasn't great. It was kind of one of those foot plants where you're on there for a long time, and it's
Yeah.
it was really soggy. I did a second one, and it was really good, but I like didn't commit and put my foot back on, and everyone was like cheering. I was like, no, like I put my foot down. I got to do it again, and then of course that happened. I don't know, man. I got up there and I was like, my weight was off or something, and I was just like, oh man, here we go.
Oh fuck, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's definitely one thing that BMX or even mountain bike will teach you, is to never settle. Even if sometimes
Yeah.
it ends up fucking you over, never settle
Yeah.
for something less than you want, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that clip fucking made me laugh so hard. I showed it to Taylor, and she could not stop laughing about it. It's just
a great
such a
one.
cool clip, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's nice to actually capture that shit on video.
Yeah.
Because, it might hurt for the first 5-10 minutes, but after that, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
so.
honestly, man, like I mainly got like the inside of my leg hit the sign a
That's
lot
good.
more, so I got pretty scraped up there, and then my arm like hitting the actual
Yeah, that
sign.
would suck.
But yeah, I got right back up and did it again right before the pain settled in, and then
Yeah.
it started to feel pretty shitty after that.
Yeah, well, probably. That's really cool, though. That's such a good little spot. My buddy Jeff does a lot of hand plants. He's like unreal on a
Oh,
BMX.
yeah.
You might know him. Big
Yeah, I know
red
Jeff.
beard.
Yeah,
That would be such a cool fucking spot for a fucking hand plant if the
Yeah.
sign was still like that and not extra fucked.
it's probably one of those things where like within the next week or two that was
it's probably
gone,
gone.
right? So
One of my favorite spots that I rode last year in 2018 was literally just sidewalk bump like this,
Yeah.
but then there's a curb cut like 5 feet from it.
Mhm.
So it's like such a cool little street setup into this
Some,
thing. It's so
yeah.
dumb because it's so small and so shitty,
Mhm.
but like just such a fun little gap to play around on. And it's just one of those things gone within a week. Like you got to
Yeah.
get that session in that week. There's a clip that I wanted in Elmira for the first video I filmed, Fuck Asses. And I kind of bitched out the night that we went there, and I decided to go back. And when I went back, it started to rain before we even got there, but I was determined to go and get it.
yeah,
We get there, the spot's gone. It was a
Yeah.
roof into a slanted, like smaller roof.
mm-hmm.
And I guess that it had been ripped out and they replaced it with a flat roof. So it would have just been roof, and then off. And it
Yeah.
was too high to do that. So I don't know. I was just like, well, fuck this then. I guess I
Yeah.
can't do it. And since then, I've tried to kind of keep that in mind for anything that I've ever wanted to try, is just get it when you can, because
yeah.
it's not going to be there forever.
Yeah, exactly. If you got that chance, man, you got to go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Another clip that I really loved was you did a Smith up a ledge at York University.
Yeah.
If you know what one I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, yeah, I know that
That
one.
ledge is so fucking steep, and just the way that you pulled it was like so cool. I don't know why that was like it stood out to me so much, but it was a really cool clip.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
That's that rail that's like right beside it is such a cool little
Yeah.
rail too.
That's the first rail I think that's the first street rail I ever did,
Wow.
and it was on my 18th or 19th birthday.
That's sick.
I didn't tell anyone. I usually don't. I'm just like, whatever. It's just a birthday,
Yeah.
and the world seems to always deliver me a present.
That's
somehow.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
No, it was a really, really cool clip for like you slid it later on, and that was a really cool clip. We went there about a year or two ago, and my buddy Nick was gonna try and do tire ride on it. I'm like, that would have been
heavy.
fucking incredible. But it's like it's so crazy. And by the time that we were like even set up and ready to kind of give her a go, fucking security came out. It's like,
That's rough.
fuck. But at least with York University, it's so big that it's like, yeah, get out of here. Yeah, we'll leave. 5
see
minutes
ya.
later, you're at a different
Yeah.
spot. So there's like a hole in a wall sort of close to that spot
Yeah, I
in a
know that
fountain.
one.
So he hopped through that instead. And
Yeah,
it made a really good clip anyways. So
that's sweet. I tried to jump through that.
yeah.
Pretty sure on the same day, and I never.
Top of it is probably like 2 feet wide, I would say. It's like ridiculously wide. I know that.
Yeah.
And then it's already like a high hop. So for me, like I was thinking, if anything, he would case the first time.
Yeah.
He didn't. He manualed through it the first time. Second time, cased a little bit, but then pulled it on the third one, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, it's a good one.
yeah, it's a really, really cool clip. So since we're talking about a lot of the Guanch video and whatnot, what kind of influence did you take from editing? Like, what kind of videos would you watch to get into editing, or was there anything you tried to base your editing on, or did you just try and do something completely different than what other people are doing?
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of videos, and it gets me like excited to do it. But back then, I never really saw anything was like, oh, I want to edit like this guy, I want to edit like that guy. I don't think I had the skills or the knowledge to like really even do something like that. I just tried to edit it. Like I'd watch it, and you just hear the song and like how it makes you feel and how it it goes together, and certain tricks, putting stuff in order and trying to make it like kind of go with the music. I think that was mainly my style.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point. For myself, I always liked him that I like with that, like so far, and then I build off of all of that. And by the time that I'm finished, that first minute worth of footage of them, there might be 1 or 2 clips from that, and the rest of it is already gone and been replaced. But it's kind of nice to be able to base somebody's riding with a song. Like, at least that's how I am personally. I like to kind of keep it that way. I think it works a lot better for certain people.
Yeah, I think it definitely turns out better. I'm pretty sure we had just started filming,
right?
And then at the end, we're like, oh, we need songs. We just picked songs like we liked or thought had like a cool vibe to them, and then just went from there.
Well, you definitely did a good job with like the music and everything anyways, because for myself, you can always see like if a song is out of place or if it just doesn't work with the clips, but you definitely pulled it off really well. So congrats on that, I guess.
Well, thank you. I got to give CR credit because I'm pretty sure he picked most of the music.
That's
for
awesome.
The first video. So
yeah, shout out to CR there. So I guess that already kind of fills in how you found the music for the videos then, was just through CR and then also just music that you guys had liked, right?
Yeah, it was all stuff like we all have pretty similar taste in music.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if anyone else had a song. I think Morgan did his own thing.
Right.
He had a song he wanted. And then, but yeah, the rest of it, we were all just kind of, we were super like relaxed about it. We didn't have like this big plan. It just kind of worked out, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's your favorite city to film in?
Man, probably Toronto, just because, I mean, I haven't been on like a ton of riding trips.
Right.
Really, I like riding around my own town just because you find those like interesting things and you try to make them look cool, but just getting out, with the guys, and it's so easy. There's so many spots, especially when you know someone who lives there. He can just take you to all these places. Yeah,
I've always had to get some help finding spots in Toronto. Like, I definitely know where a lot of them are, but like finding some of those one-hit wonders is very difficult.
Yeah, having guys that like live there, and even like our buddy Gabby does food delivery.
Oh yeah, so
That's
he
his
sees
job.
everything.
Yeah, and all the time there's just spots. And
Yeah.
our buddy Cole too. He's out all the time. He just rides nonstop. So
That's awesome. That's like such a good way to find stuff is just from doing jobs like that where you're
Yeah.
kind of going everywhere. Travis and I, you know Travis, we used to always like hop in his car at the middle of the night and just drive around and try and find
Yeah.
spots. It's always like kind of weird because like it's literally 3 a.m. and you're behind a factory like
Yeah.
looking around and you know
Yeah.
cops might show up like what the fuck are you doing? It's so hard to explain. Like, okay, we ride bikes and we do tricks on them and we're just looking for places to do it. And they're like, yeah, okay. Like, whatever you say.
yeah, especially when you don't have the bikes, man.
Yeah.
I always wonder what people think when they see like three, like especially now, like three grown ass dudes, and they're like looking at a handrail or something, or they're like at a playground, like looking at some weird thing.
Yeah, I know.
But-
I'm like, it's so strange, but oh well. Yeah, Toronto definitely has some really, really good shit. There's a 3 block right next to the CN Tower that Jesse tried to 3 back in the fuck asses days.
Yeah.
And there's a spot really close to that I think it was CR did a double set gap where it's like 5 stair, 15-foot flat, 3 stair.
Yeah.
Like that was so fucking gnarly. Like I've been there so many times and I had never even thought that would be a clip that somebody
Yeah.
would go for because it's just so gnarly and
massive,
huge.
man.
Like it doesn't, to me, before I saw that clip, I never would have even thought that is possible.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
I think he had his eye on that for a while. And
Yeah.
he had talked about it, and then I remember one day he's like, dude, I got it, and he uploaded the footage.
That's
I don't want to
crazy.
try to like roast them, but it was like probably the craziest clip in his segment,
Yeah.
maybe in the whole video. And like I feel like the filming just didn't.
Didn't do it justice, eh?
No, like if you know where it is and you've seen it before, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah. I definitely think it could have been filmed a little better, but I mean, oh well, right? Like maybe one day he'll want to try it again, but
Yeah, I guess that's
Until then.
what happens when we were just out, doing whatever, having
Yeah.
fun riding. So
yeah, that's totally true. So we're gonna do a little break. We got one song, and then we'll be right back. So this next song is a cover of "Runaround" by Blues Traveler, and the band that covers this is one of my favorite bands from Vegas. They're called Be Like Max. All right.
Once upon a midnight dreary, I woke with something in my head. I couldn't escape the memory of a phone call and of what you said. Like a game show contestant with a parting gift, I could not believe my eyes when I saw through the voice of a trusted friend who needs to humor me and tell me lies. Yeah, humor me and tell me lies. And I'd like to say I don't mind. And as we seek, so shall we find. And when you're feeling open, I'll still be here. But now without a certain degree of fear of what will be, you and me, and still I see things so fondly by you. Why you always give me the run around? Is it your fire way to speed things up? When all it does is slow me down. Shake me in my confidence, but a great many things. But I've been there, I can see it coward like a nervous magician waiting in the wings of a bad play where the heroes are right. Nobody thinks or expects too much, and Hollywood's calling for the movie right. Singing, hey babe, let's keep in touch. Hey baby, let's keep in touch. But I want more than a touch, I want you to reach me and show me all the things no one else can see. So what you feel can be mine as well. Instead of for lucky, we'd be unable to tell what's yours and mine. The fishing's fine and it doesn't have the rhyme, so don't you feed me a line, but you. Why you always give me the run around? Is it your fire way to speed things up? And all it does is slow me down. cynical, but I know no matter what the waitress brings, I shall drink it and always be full. Yeah, drink it and always be full. Well, I like coffee, I like tea, to be able to enter my final plea. It seems like I got this dream that you just can't shake. I love you to the point you can no longer take. Well, alright, okay, so be that way. I hope and pray there's something left to say. But you, why you always giving me run around? Is it your fire way to speed things up? When all it does is to lure me down. Yeah, but you, why you always giving me run around? Is it your fire way to speed things up? When all it does is to lure me down. Slow me down.
Alrighty, and we're back after that little short break. That was Run Around by Be Like Max. And I don't know if anybody listening has ever seen the show Son of Zorn, but I fucking love that show. It's like a cartoon show, but it's all done like, it's so weird. So it's Zorn, the main character, is animated, but the rest of it is all like filmed with actual cameras. It's like a real life show, and he's the only one that's animated. It's so fucking interesting. And it sucks there's only one season of it, but the song Run Around was like his favorite song. So that's just why I'm going off on that little tangent there. But hilarious show. Definitely check it out someday. Going back towards this interview. So you shoot a lot of photos with a dude named Kyle from Cambridge. Kyle is unreal. This dude sends everything. Like,
Yeah.
I've rode Brad Bunnell's Step Up that used to be a thing in Kitchener with Kyle, and it's so crazy just to see anything that he would pull off there. I don't want to say that he front flipped it, but I can't remember if he did or not. Either that or it was somebody else, but I just know that he did like the gnarliest shit there anyways as well.
Yeah, him and Radney.
Yeah, Radney is also unreal.
Just shredders.
Yeah, those two are crazy. So, what kind of stuff have you shot with them? Like, there's a crazy tail whip photo that I saw from a new Step Up that's in the area, and like a bunch of other shit. How often do you shoot with him? Is it just kind of like a run into him and pull out the camera thing, or?
Yeah, I saw them. We started, I think, with the Riverside jams.
Yeah,
They'd be there a lot, and then it's the same thing. Like, you know, when you're shooting those jams, you want to get pictures of everybody, and yeah, riding's just about like having fun and stuff. But
yeah,
you want to get the bangers too, right? You want to get the plus crazy trick guys that go like high in the air. It looks better.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, I started shooting with them a lot, and they liked the photos. So I think we were on a run for like a couple months where we were shooting together quite a bit. You know, they were doing that. We go to All In and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's a little like nerve-wracking almost, because you don't want, like, you want them to push it. Like, you want all your friends to push themselves, but I don't want them to feel like they have to do something they're like a little uncomfortable with just because I'm there. But I never really thought it was like that. They were just dudes who like to push themselves and go crazy, right?
Yeah. No, I've always felt the same. Like, my one thing that I regret so much is not going and getting like some sort of form of like CPR or first aid training. Like, I should really have that as a filmer.
Yeah.
Just to kind of be there. That's one of those things that's like such an afterthought. I should know how to do all this shit.
Yeah.
You know? But the same thing, like some of the times, you know, filming with Space Goats, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't want this person to get hurt, but holy shit, this clip will look insane. Like,
yeah,
it'd be so crazy. Has there ever been any moments like that where you've really feared for like somebody's safety when they're trying something? Maybe you've talked somebody out of trying something because it was just a little too crazy or anything like that?
I don't think I've ever talked anyone out of trying something, because you don't want to get in their head either, right?
Right.
It's at least I think with a lot of the guys I ride with, you're like they know what they're getting themselves into, and especially like riding with dudes like Morgan and CR, like they're always going way bigger than I'd want to go anyway.
Yeah.
CR would be like, dude, I'm gonna nollie 3 this 9 stair, and I'm like, I don't even want to jump down this thing. Like, my wrists are gonna break.
Yeah.
But There's been definitely a few times where, especially like my buddy Morgan, just man, I remember the one time he broke his leg like right in front of me.
Oh my god,
Like
that's fucking
I was
terrifying.
filming fisheye, like I was in tight when he
Yeah.
landed. So I don't know if that played into it. I mean, same thing. He knows what he's getting himself into. We all accept the risk for ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy to watch your friends do certain stuff. Like in the back of your head, like, you know, you're like, you don't have to do anything you don't want, but you want to be encouraging to you. Like, hey,
Of course, yeah.
you got this. And the next thing you know, your buddy punches a hole through his chin with his handlebars. And you're like, damn it. Like,
Yeah, exactly. For me, I've always been like super confident of all of the people that I film with for the most part. Like, I have never told somebody to try something that's out of their range at all. Like,
exactly.
you know, I might push somebody a little bit for something they're a little uncomfortable for, but like it's only because I know they can do it. One of my favorite people that I love to film with is definitely Jesse Dzikowicz, because the kid just sends anything. Like, he's so unreal on a bike. He's got so much confidence, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people lack, is the ability to sit there and think, okay, I know that I can do this. How am I going to do this? You know, I think most people are like, I don't know if I can do this, but this is how I'm going to try it. He always thinks, I know I can do this, but how am I going to do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, we filmed a fucking crazy flare clip, like street clip too. So I found this spot like probably 4 years ago, and it's basically like chain link fence with barbed wire and just a bunch of fucking wood pallets and just shit thrown onto it. And for some reason, I was like, I bet that if you fucking move that shit around a little bit, you could literally make it a street quarter. So sure enough, after like 3 years of just not actually like taking anybody there, because I wanted to film something very cool. I didn't want to go there and film, you know, a tabletop or just something lame. I wanted to
bar air halfway up it.
I know. I was like, I want to take somebody here that has the full potential to ride this. So after a couple of years, I kind of found it again, and we decided to go and check it out. We go and we look at it, and he's like, oh yeah, we could definitely make this a quarter pipe. So we show up a couple days later, and we brought the drill, we brought everything. We go and we grab the toolbox, grab the cameras. I set up the camera, start shooting a time lapse. We start moving everything to make it like a quarter pipe. Grabs his drill, grabs the bit, looks for the screws. We have 3 screws. That's it. We did not remember to bring screws. So like, well, fuck, like, we're already here. Like, let's see what we can do. So we put 3 screws into this thing. That was it. Like 20 different pieces of wood, just fucked up shit. Like the top of it's so weird, but like the roofing stuff, like not shingles, but like a different form of like flat top roof stuff, like just piled in a quarter pipe shape. 3 screws. He tries it. The first time that he tries it, completely eats shit, gets annihilated. Ramp complete, like all of those screws just fucking gone, just like literally snapped. Well, fuck. So we start trying it some more without the screws, and after, you know, probably 15 really close attempts, he finally pulled it. Like, he ended up almost doing a backflip to fakie on one of these attempts just because of how fucking weird it like just is. Cool. Yeah. But finally pulled the flare, and I'm like, that's one of my favorite clips I've ever filmed. That's for sure. But going back to what you were saying, so Morgan broke his leg in front of you. This has got to be interesting. Like, how did this whole thing come apart? Let's talk about literally the morning of until after this happened, you know?
Dude, it was like, we were just going riding, and there was I'm sure you've seen it. It's like there's that little rail hop in downtown. Everyone's hit, and a couple people even 180'd it, but he still wanted to do it. Like, it was just something he wanted to do. That was like the first spot of the day. And same thing, like you're getting set up, and I'm sure you know, it's like you're talking about like filming with Kyle and those guys. When people are doing stuff like that, like, you just have to be on your game. Like, that's when you have to be quick with your setups and stuff. Like, you don't want them to all of a sudden be in the zone and then be like, no, like, you gotta wait, I gotta set this up. Like, you get your stuff set up and you're ready to go when they are. So I set that up. We set up a camera across the street, and then I had the fish going too. And first attempt, like he almost landed it. Oh, he did. He landed perfectly, but he's running a cassette, and I think he just wasn't really ready to like pull it first try. Plus, like that much impact, he just did the thing where you land and
You just fall off the back, pretty much.
yeah, like he landed on his feet, like the bike just kind of popped out away from him.
Okay.
And then the second try, I think he just got like too excited, and I think his front wheel might have bonked the rail or something. It just kicked him funny. And it was one of those things where like you never would expect it to happen. Like you almost,
Right.
I've seen people walk away from way worse. I think it's just the way he landed.
Yeah.
And then his leg just blows out. We have the footage. It's going in his next part.
That's crazy.
He's got it all edited up in his intro. Oh man, it's gnarly. I can't
Yeah.
watch it anymore. And and then all of a sudden there he is, like on the ground, his legs like busted out to the side.
Damn.
So, whatever, we call the ambulance. Some guy comes running across the street from the cafe. I guess he was like a medic or whatever, which was great because I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
This is, like you said, maybe get some CPR training. I was like, dude, like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. You're pretty much just like, okay, stay calm.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck to do, but we're going to figure this out,
Call the ambulance, and they're like, where are you? And I'm trying to remember the name of the street, and I, like, run down to the corner to find the street sign.
Yeah.
And then, it was a whole mess. And unfortunately, there was a couple like local BMX kids who like came riding down the street,
Yeah.
like after he was getting loaded up into the ambulance and stuff. And I kind of like, yo, guys, like help me out. Like we got to get his bike and his bag and stuff. And I had to go get his car. I didn't even have my license at the time. Fortunately, we were like 2 blocks from my house, so I just drove it up the street to my house.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess I got to go to the hospital now. Went to the hospital. Dude, he took it like a champ, like an absolute champ. I mean, as good as you can for breaking your leg in half. And then we were hanging out in the hospital. There was some dude like who was also on a stretcher. They let me back in there. I was hanging out with him, and some other guy gets wheeled in. He like cut his toes off on his lawnmower or something.
Yeah.
He was pretty hyped too. They were on some pretty good pain meds.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, what'd you do?" And they're like talking to each other. And next thing you know, we're showing the guy the footage.
That's funny.
And then I look up, and Morgan's parents are walking in, and I'd never met his mom before, and she's just like looking at me, and I'm holding this little camera, like showing some random dude, 2 guys on a stretcher. They're both leaned over, looking at the footage, and here's me like holding the camera. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, that was a crazy day.
Oh, that's incredible, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see it, man. Not to see him break his leg, obviously, but just that kind of shit is like. It sucks to say, but it's golden footage. You don't come across that shit often, and when it does, like, you gotta have the camera going.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, he knows the same thing. Like, yeah, obviously it sucks, but...
Well, you can be positive about it, right?
I mean, we had 2 angles run in. Like, I remember when they were, like, the paramedics were around him, and they were, like, going over and stuff, and the one kind of, like, looked up at me, because I was, like, I was filming.
Yeah.
Because at that point, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, the paramedics are there, the other guy's there. Like, before they showed up, I was kind of sitting with them, but the medic guy knew what to do. Someone else had stopped. They had like a first aid kit and like whatever, all this stuff in their car. And the paramedic like kind of looks at him. He's like, "Do you want your friend like filming this?" And he kind of just smiled. And he's like, "Yeah, definitely."
Yeah.
So,
no, it's definitely one of those things that like anybody knows that. Like, at least for BMX people, like. If somebody falls, you film it. Like, you gotta keep the camera rolling, so.
Yeah, you gotta get that stuff on footage, man.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about your camera setup before, but we didn't get into, like, your lens preferences. So what kind of lenses do you shoot with, and why do you like them, like those lenses in particular?
I just shot with, I had that 50 mil.
And grab your camera and just show us, just so we know what's going on here.
Here is the camera. It's missing this piece, and the grip is coming halfway off, and it's been through so much. The screen's cracked.
Nice.
It's been through a lot, and I actually have the 50 mil that I've shot. All the photos that you have actually all shot on this lens, which is
the 50 mil is such a good little lens too.
No more.
Oh damn, It's all fucked. Yeah.
Shattered. That happened on my my camping trip.
Oh shit! Did you drop the camera or?
Yeah, the camera did tip over. Before I went away, there was something going on with it, man. Like, the focus ring was like getting stuck and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that lens, it's cheap. It's
They're super cheap.
Under
Like,
$200. That's why I bought it.
Yeah.
Because I'm cheap and I needed a lens. So
yeah, they're a great lens though. Like they're super good just because they are cheap. And two, I think that if you just have a super basic camera, like we were saying earlier, a Rebel XT or even, like something's just not the best.
Yeah.
And you get one of those, it'll really teach you how to shoot.
Yeah.
Because you don't have much to play with. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you got to do all the zooming by walking forward or walking backwards. There's no zoom or anything like that. You've really got to focus on everything else. And that lens in particular is really good in low light settings as well, is it not?
Yeah, exactly. It's 1.8, the aperture.
Yeah.
So it's great for that. It's sharp. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they make different lenses for different reasons. But if you're just trying to, start out and you're really trying to learn, I think having like a limited kit teaches you more to work on your skills than
Then focusing on your
the gear
equipment.
Acquisition syndrome or whatever they call it, where people are like, oh, I need this gear, I need that gear. Like, just try to figure it out.
Yeah. No, that's so true. And what lens are you currently shooting with then?
On here, I got the 24 mil.
Oh,
Same
nice.
thing.
Just a prime lens then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's cheap. And then great now, like I'm not working full time anymore, really trying to do some stuff like, with photography and video and
That's awesome.
and make stuff happen. So cheap lens, just picked it up. And then I've got a fisheye as well. Same thing.
Is it
Amazon.
the Bauer one or the Optico one?
The Optical one?
Nice.
Yeah, Amazon special.
There you go. Yeah, the Bauer one is pretty good as well, I've heard. The Canon fisheye is really cool, but I believe it's an L series, so it's fucking expensive,
Yeah, it's
man.
like almost $2,000 or something.
Yeah, it's super weird too because it's actually like a zoom fish. It goes from 8 to 15 mil. So it's so weird to get that kind of thing with a fisheye.
Yeah.
So, they're really fucking cool though, that's for sure. What was I gonna say? Sorry, totally blanking on that. We'll just move on to the next thing.
That's cool.
We talked about what bike you're riding. Snowboarding. So when did you get into snowboarding?
Man, a long time ago. I think it was the same thing, like just as a young kid, like always trying to stay busy. And I did different stuff. Like I played hockey for a bit and did different sports, but it was never really, I know I liked hockey, but team sports, and it's, I don't know, like the same with biking. Like you can do creative stuff and like, do it your own way and have fun. And I started snowboarding, like, I'd go to Chicopee and whatever, take lessons and do this. But then as soon as I could, like we were in the park trying to jump and do this, like, I don't know, I always just get bored doing stuff the normal way, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, just started doing that about, I don't know, maybe same time, about 8 years ago. And then, that transitions into like trying to ride street, and I never really got that good at it, but
Snowboarding always blows my mind. Like, in particular, I honestly probably look forward to the X Games real snowboarding street stuff more than I look forward to the BMX X Games real street stuff. Because the stuff those guys are doing, I know that it's like 6 of the top best fucking snowboarders in the world, but holy shit, dude. Every single time I watch one of those, I want to get a board and I want to start to learn because those fucking dudes are unreal. Frank Borges is from Montreal, or like Quebec at least, and he always wins. He's always getting gold on that.
yeah.
He's fucking crazy, dude. Like a 6-story building. He's got a little jump set up. It's a wall ride to another wall ride into a little fucking bank at the bottom built of snow. And like, what gives you the idea to do that shit? Like, it's so fucking crazy to even think of that.
I think that's what's so cool about it. Like, especially, as like a street rider and someone like you who goes out and it's, tricks are cool, but like finding unique spots and ways to like interact with your city and the stuff around you. I think snowboarding and I guess skiing as well. But I just like snowboarding better.
Yeah.
Snowboarding street, it's on a different level because, you know, you can go out on a BMX and like you guys bring that little kicker around and stuff.
Oh, I fucking love that thing.
But for them to go out and now that they have these bungees and winches and stuff where like you don't need a hill to get speed anymore. You don't need someone to tow you in a car. You just a couple buddies and a bungee and you can build kickers. And like you said, they can jump off massive buildings into these like landings and wall rides and stuff. Like they ride street in a different way than I think any other sport really does. And like the scale of it is just massive. And it's something to watch, man.
Yeah, some of that shit is like so unreal to look at. Like it blows my mind seeing that stuff.
The world really changes too when there's like 3 feet of snow on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Stuff that normally you could never ride. And even I think with a snowboard, the way it works, there's nothing to hang up on the bottom. Like you can ride, people are doing board slides on top of bike racks and stuff. And like things that you just can't do in any other sport. I think the same way too, like I like watching like aggressive inline street.
Yeah.
Just because it's different. Like, you know, you see different, it's obviously not as crazy as snowboarding street.
Yeah.
But just seeing like how
people do stuff.
Yeah, use spots differently and things you'd never think of. Like they can just, it's really interesting.
Oh, of course. Have you ever filmed any like snowboard videos? Have you ever really thought about doing like a snowboard like full length video at all? Or
I'd like to. It's the same thing. Like I'm just not really out there with guys that are doing it. Like I don't know anyone who's really doing it. My buddy AJ, he was the one who really got me into street snowboarding, and we filmed an edit with him once. He just wanted to do. He was motivated to film an edit.
Yeah.
We were out in the streets all winter, like filming stuff, and it's not the greatest thing. I mean, we're not pros. We're just dudes doing it, but yeah. I'll still watch it all the time, and like just, I don't know, those memories. It's great, man.
That dude is like an unreal Skate 3 player as well.
Yeah.
He's like
one best.
of the, yeah, he takes it like super seriously, which is sick. Because I play that game like 3 times a week still to this day. I love that game. It's fucking just so much fun.
We used to play it so much, and you'd spend like, I don't know, we'd spend like 15 minutes trying to do like a trick, and you land it, and you'd be like, oh no, like I landed it weird. And people are like, it's a video game. You're like, no, it looked weird. I'm doing it again.
Yeah, like I literally take it that seriously too, which is so crazy. I don't know if you use Reddit at all, but they've got like a really good subreddit for Skate 3. So like just keeping Skate 3 alive, which is cool. Like they do a thing called Line of the Week where you just film like a 30-second line and send it in. And if you win, you get to pick where the next week like is based for that like spot.
That's cool.
It's so interesting just because it's like it's a fucking video game. Like it's a game that like not very many people play still, but it's so cool to see people like just keeping it alive that way. You know? Yeah,
I think it's one of those games like, and a lot of BMXers and stuff play it because there really wasn't a game like it. I mean, I don't really game at all anymore. I still have it kicking around. I used to play Dave Mira. Freestyle BMX too, but the physics are crap. We all know it. It's just
it's not the same. You know, there's quite a few BMX games that are in the works right now, like at least 2 that I know of. But I don't know what the time frame is like for those. You know, and even the one that's out right now, I forget what it's called. Oh, Pipe BMX. It's like ridiculously hard. Like it's so hard to play that game, but. You know, I'm happy that at least they're trying to make something, right?
Yeah, and I think it's just one guy doing it, right? So
I think so, yeah.
I'm not trying to bash it, but like it's just not on that level that skate was at. Like the world,
right?
So interactive and like it's like riding street in real life. It's free roam. You can go out, you can go to a spot, and your friend can skate it for 10 minutes, and then you grab the controller and do something totally different. Like it's...
And you know what's like so cool is that in Skate 3 or even Skate 2, like there's like stuff that I find to this day that I had never even seen before that make like such a cool little like line or something like that, you know? Like you can literally go street searching in that game and find stuff. Like that's fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So... Since we're talking about video stuff a little bit, or at least skateboard stuff, let's talk about actual skateboarding. You filmed a video a couple of years ago. It's a skate DIY video. So you went out and you guys are building a DIY.
Yeah.
That video has over 200,000 views on YouTube.
It does.
How did that video go, quote unquote, viral? And what do you think made it hit so many views?
I want to say it was on purpose. Like, I kind of going into it, I didn't film it just for it to blow up. I was with my buddy AJ again, and he was kind of getting into skating. He had done BMX and stuff, but it was never really his thing.
Right.
So I was getting into skating too. Like, it was fun it's fun to do something new and start from scratch. Like, it's learning how to do it. And we just wanted kind of a place to skate for ourselves, because you go to the skate park and
you can't skate at the skate park, man. There's too many kids there.
Yeah, and it's almost a little embarrassing. You're like trying to learn it. It makes it a bit hard. So, and doing a DIY, like, that's cool, man. If anyone's ever done it or even thought about it, like, it's fun to build your own stuff and skate it. So we went out, and I think he had actually found that spot, or someone had told him about it. And I guess people had like built a couple things there, but nobody really went into it. So I started looking on YouTube and stuff, and the DIY skate videos, they're really, really popular.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'll make a video out of this. I knew it was going to get views, but I maybe like 1,000, 2,000, whatever. I thought it would do pretty good, and I was like, oh, maybe I can use this to kind of build up my YouTube channel and then like do something I like. And yeah, we just spent, I don't know, a couple months there in the summer doing this, filming it, and I never expected it to do that. Like, I remember when it hit like, 10,000, 20,000, like 100,000, I was just blown away. Like,
oh, wow, this is fucking crazy, man. And I'm like, when you see those big of numbers, you're like, holy shit, like, how do I do that, right? But that's insane. Like, it's so cool that video went that huge, right? Do you think you got any subscribers out of that video in particular?
I still do, which is the crazy thing, but I don't think people realize like how old it was. People are still asking me like, do another update. I'm like, man, the spot, it's done. Like, that spot's been destroyed now with new construction and stuff like that. But
you should do an update video and just show people. Be like, yeah, this is our old spot. It's gone.
Not here anymore. Yeah, I'm in a field.
It's a field, and there's some houses that are being built. Like,
yeah, that video, and then there was a part 2, which I don't know how many views it has now. Didn't do as many.
Yeah.
I think they're good videos. Like, they're well done. The skating isn't good. People still comment all the time like, oh, did you guys forget how to learn how to ollie? It's like, no, this is us learning how to skate.
Yeah.
Like, this is where we learn to skate.
People like that are just dicks.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point. Like, why do you got to be like that?
I always just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Like,
it's like, yeah, no, I didn't learn how to skate, but I could fucking wreck you in a game of bike.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Or people
you want to do
like,
that?
There's like a couple bike clips in there, and people were like, "Oh, like why would you let bikes come there?" And I'm thinking, like, have you even
looked at my channel?
No, I think that's the thing is like the DIY skate videos. They're so big on YouTube, it just keeps getting pushed into people's subscriptions, or people search it a lot. So that video probably, it's like you said, 200,000. The other one has less. And
it's
then
up there though.
Yeah, my next most viewed video is got to be like under 5,000. Like, there's no way it's even close.
Yeah. That's crazy, right? Like, it's so weird to just see that one little thing in your headline can totally bring it right up there. I should try and do that with the tags on YouTube. Just put like DIY skate and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Who knows? Work. That'd be fucking funny if it does.
And I thought about like keeping it going, and I was like, oh, I could like really do something here. But then like my buddy was moving away, and I was like, I'm not just going to do this
alone
to make money off YouTube, or just do it for the views, because like I don't know, the reason it was so fun is because me and him, and there was other people we met, like we just spent time there, like having fun, learning how to skate.
I mean, it would take all the fun out of it, so.
Yeah, I'd like to do it again. I mean, there's a few places where I live now where you could really do it, but it's a huge amount of work.
It's a lot of work, and then on top of that too, it's just like Lego, man. You build something awesome, and somebody can just come along and fucking destroy it the next day.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I've always wanted to do like a DIY around here, but there really isn't too many areas in Kitchener that you could get away with a DIY. And if you could, There's a good chance that that land is going to be bought out and built into a condo. Like even
Eventually,
half of the spots that we were filming at for Fuck Asses and Space Goats, they're gone now. Like some of the best spots that I've ever ridden are gone because just new stuff being built, you know?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can really do about it, but, you know, just cherish those moments you did have.
It's like building a set of dirt jumps. Like it's a massive, massive commitment.
Yeah.
And if it's not your number one priority in life, I just don't think it's going to go anywhere.
There's a very, very, very cool set of private dirt jumps that I will fully bring you to if you are wanting to go.
Yeah.
My buddy Ryan, he lives in the middle of London, just literally like middle of the city. He's got a log cabin house, matching log cabin garage. You go into his backyard, you're like, oh, there's no dirt jumps here. You walk back even further, and his backyard is a weird shape. It's like the property line for him is an L shape. So his normal backyard just looks like a backyard. And then you go a little bit further back, go through a fence, and it's literally just like huge dirt lines doing a big loop. Like, what the fuck? It's so crazy, man. I'll show you a little clip of them after the podcast. But yeah, if you ever want to go to those, fucking let me know. I'll take you there. They're super, super cool. All right, so we're going to end it off with 5 different photos that you've selected today. So these photos were photos that I asked if they're either your favorite or they just have a good story behind them. So I'll pull up the photos on the computer and just tell us a little story about how they all came to be or why they're your favorite.
All right.
All right, so this first one here, how did this become one of your favorites?
I mean, one, I think it's a good photo. It's interesting. It catches people's eyes. I've had people say like, "Oh, it's overdone" or whatever. But that was one of the craziest sunsets I've ever seen. Like I was shooting at a different place, and I got the classic yellow sky, and everything's all kind of soft and whatever. And then the sun had kind of, you get that perfect golden hour, and then it kind of goes away. And I was walking down just to like another location. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go take a look. And this is, it's at like a public lookout. It's, super easy to get to. It's like 10 feet off the street. And I remember I was like watching the sky change as I was getting there, like walking faster, trying to get there. And I walked down to like where I took the photo and the sunset, like, I guess it's more of an afterglow, but I'd never seen anything like it. It was just so, like the sky was so saturated and dark and colorful, like just like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just set up and snapped the photo, and I think it was definitely a bit of luck, good timing involved, seeing as I wasn't even planning to shoot this, and yeah, I think it just turned out great.
So one question I have that I meant to ask earlier is, do you do any editing for your photos, and what editing software do you use?
I do Lightroom and Photoshop. Mainly everything gets done in Lightroom. I'll use Photoshop sometimes. You need to use it for some things like, layering and stuff. Or if there's something that bothers me and I want to take it out. I don't think there's any Photoshop done in this. It is a panoramic because I shot it with that 50 mil.
Right.
And you can't get a good wide angle like that, so I just set up my tripod, shot 3 photos, and stitched them together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lightroom is fucking incredible. It's such a good software to be using for this. Photoshop, again, it's fucking unlimited. Like, you can do anything in Photoshop, which is so cool. I recently had to actually like start paying for all the software. It's kind of pricey, but it's worth it. Like, I get all the apps now, so I can use all of them whenever I feel like it. I've got on a bunch of courses online to learn how to actually use them all. So I've always used Photoshop a little bit to do super basic stuff, but learning how to use Character Animator and like all these other crazy softwares is so difficult, but it's going to be well worth it. I
think having like the subscription plan too now, instead of having to shell out that $500 up front or whatever, spending what is it, like $20 a month Canadian for Lightroom and Photoshop
just Lightroom. If you want to do all the apps, it's like $80 Canadian a month.
Yeah,
But yeah. No, it's well worth it if you're doing like Lightroom and Photoshop and everything in it. I was using like an old version of Photoshop for fucking ages that I torrented, and I'm like, I just need a new one. I need to actually start paying. So
I think they have a free version of Lightroom. I don't know if you can get it on the computer, but I think there's a free version you can get on your phone.
Yeah,
and then because I'm subscribed to have it on my computer, I can just log in, and I think you get a few extra features on the phone as well. Oh,
that's cool.
But
yeah, that's really cool. Adobe always does really good with anything they make. All right, so let's go to photo number 2 here. So before we go any further into this, Hamilton?
Yep. Yeah, everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's, what's it called? Shadok Falls? I don't know how it's pronounced.
Right.
That's the upper falls. I think a lot of people see it from up top, like from the roadway. It's maybe, I don't know, 20, 30-minute hike in.
Oh, wow.
I don't think this is like a particularly great photo. Certainly not edited that well. I look at it now and I was like, man, I could do a lot better.
Yeah.
But this had to be like one of the craziest days of my life, at least shooting photos. I was in Hamilton.
Yep.
Or whatever. We get up at like 5 a.m. He comes and picks me up. And of course, it's raining. It's a crappy day. There's not going to be a good sunrise. But we had called up Carter and we're like, hey man, like, what are you doing? You want to do this? And he had been up all night partying. So we showed
Carter.
Yeah. Yeah. If you know Carter, he's a great dude.
He's unreal. I love Carter. He's such a fucking genuine good dude.
Yeah,
he's
that's
like,
it.
He stopped riding, which kind of sucks, but now he's like doing DJ stuff. And, you know, like I love it. I think it's so cool that he's kind of taken one passion and he's maybe moved away from it. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, he's still a BMX rider, which is fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. That he has that attitude. But
yeah.
So we get down there and we must have met up with him at like 6 or whatever. When we come to his apartment, he's just sitting there with his headphones on, like making beats at like 6 a.m. He's been up all night.
Yeah.
So we met up with him. We drove up to the ridge or whatever, try to get a good photo. And we're like, man, we're not going to get anything. So Carter says, oh, I know a place we can go. And I'm going to try to like condense this story down because that could go on forever. But we end up going to a construction site that he knows about. We hop the fence, we go up the thing, you know, up in the building, up to the top. We're taking pictures like from the roof and stuff. And there's a crane there, and they're like, oh, it'd be cool if we could get on the crane. I was like, oh, man, like, I didn't know if this is a good idea. But
yeah.
Of course we did it, and I have this all on video, and I've never actually put it out because I didn't think it was a smart idea.
Yeah.
So we started climbing the crane, and I'm super afraid of heights. So I got up like 2 or 3 levels or whatever, and Carter and Braden they're just going for it. So I'm like, oh man, I might go back down. And I look back down, and I'm like, climbing down is going to be worse than going up.
Yeah.
And I'm only going to get a chance to do this like maybe once. So we did it. Climbed to the top of the crane, got a bunch of cool pictures, you know, all that. Carter not happy. They're like trying to like corner us in and stuff, and then they're saying the cops are coming, and the boss guy's like, oh, we'll go up on the gate. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, here's the cops. Like, we're busted. And they just all leave, and there's just one guy just looking at us, and we all kind of look at each other and just have this look and just bolt. Run for the fence, hop the fence, run like 4 or 5 blocks all the way back to Carter's place, just dying. And then we did this for the rest of the day. We hiked a bunch of waterfalls. Did all this. Carter tried to do like a rope swing here.
That's awesome.
Got stuck. Had to fall off the rope swing. I got a whole video on it on my YouTube. It's hilarious.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'll have to find it. Yeah, that video of you climbing the crane. Just saying, if you want those views, man, post that shit because that'll go viral.
It's been like 5 years now, I think. I was going to put it out eventually, but yeah, we just spent the whole day doing photos, hiking to different waterfalls, climbing up and down stuff we probably shouldn't have been. Like, it was just nuts.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, we went to a party, and we're up till like 4 a.m.
That would have been probably the 3rd, 4th day that Carter was up all night.
Yeah, so. He was up for like a long time.
Yeah. He's something else, man. Carter is unreal. So.
Yeah. It's like the super condensed version of that story.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Mm-hmm. That's super cool. Thank you for that. And let's do photo number 3.
Mm-hmm. That is my buddy Nick. He just got married 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I didn't do the official photography for the wedding. He asked me, and I was like, "Nah, dude, hire somebody."
Yeah.
I
You
don't-
want to make sure that, you know, if you
That's
fuck up, you
where
don't get blamed for it.
having like the nice gear and all the lenses and stuff. I mean, you can do it. You could do anything.
Yeah.
And I told him like, "Hey, look, if you're really trying to save some money, like I'll gladly do it for you, but I would recommend you hire someone."
Yeah.
But he asked me to come out and shoot some photos of like all the groomsmen getting ready and stuff, and they're all my buddies too. So this photo, I think it's pretty good, but it's one of those ones where I think it just means so much more to me. Like seeing my buddy, and there's his mom, and we grew up together. Like I've
Right.
known him forever. So like just having that picture of him on his wedding day and getting to be a part of something so incredible. I think that's why this photo is so good to me.
Yeah. That's so true, man. It's definitely really, really cool. That's for sure. So, well, congrats to you, Nick. That's
Yes.
recent too, eh? That's so cool.
October 4th, I
Wow.
think it was. Mhm.
Yeah, that's it's hilarious. October 4th was the day that I finished harvesting my weed plant.
Whoa, there you go.
So we were definitely both doing important stuff that day.
Good day for everybody.
Yeah, of course. All right, let's go to the next one.
I just really like this picture. I don't think there's anything too crazy. Me and Braden had gone to Toronto a few times. The one night we climbed, did the roof topping thing or whatever, and same thing.
Nice.
I'm super scared of heights, so I was freaking out.
Yeah.
But I was glad I did it. But I don't think this was even that night. I think this is just a photo I just really like. It's just simple, and yeah, there's something about it, and I don't know what it is.
It's really cool though. It's definitely it's a very Canadian photo, you know?
Yeah.
Like you got the CN Tower there, you can
Yeah.
see the kind of what Toronto is all about, you know? It's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's unique. It's simple. It's really dark, but then just having those like 3 reflections.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like reflections, man. There's something about them.
No, it's super cool, man. Alrighty, well, let's go to the last one. And this last one I especially like because, I was definitely involved in this one. So
Yeah, I think you were there. I don't remember.
I don't know. I know. Like, who's that random guy on the skateboard in the man bun?
I don't know. I tried to Photoshop him out, but I couldn't.
So I'll let you tell the story, and maybe I'll jump in a little bit. But let's start from the beginning of the day here.
I was gonna say I don't even remember why I was there, but I do. It's because you asked me to come shoot some photos. This was when I don't know when this a year or 2, 3.
2 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
About 2 years ago.
when you guys were like really heavy into filming, you just wanted me to come out and shoot some like behind the scenes stuff, and I think that's more my style.
Yeah.
Like I'm always a lot of people I find, especially with action, shoot really tight.
Yeah.
And it's good, shoot, do your thing, but I always like to like kind of take a step back and get the people sitting on the ground. And I don't know if it's just from years of riding, and like I think that's what makes riding so awesome to me. More like, yeah, the tricks are awesome and I'll always remember this, but like you're just there hanging out with your buddies or you're filming or whatever, like so kind of step back and like try to tell like more of the story of you guys filming and stuff. Was really fun. I don't know. Was this the first spot of the day?
No.
Was
So
this before the rail or after the rail?
this was after the rail.
Yeah.
So this day, I messaged you kind of last minute. I really didn't plan it that well. It's just kind of like, hey man, hop on the bus, come to Kitchener right now. Like we're gonna show you around, and it'd be awesome if you can grab some photos of us. So we pick you up at the Fairview Mall, which is like where the buses kind of end. And we head to this rail that my buddy Eric was looking at. And this rail had been a rail that Eric had looked at for probably close to 3-4 years. And he was just never 100% sure on it. But he had always said that if he wanted to do it, that he wanted you to take a photo of it. Out of anybody else, he wanted you because of the way that you shoot.
Thank you, Eric.
So, yeah, of course. Eric he knows who's the best, But anyways, we get there, and after a couple minutes, Eric's really not feeling it, and I can tell. And
No.
he just wasn't having it, and that's okay. It's a fucking scary rail that we did, but I decide that I would like to try the rail because to me, I've always wanted to hit this rail as well.
Everyone's wanted to hit it. I've
it's
looked
such
at
a cool
it. Nate's
little
looked
rail.
at it.
And I figure you're already there. The camera's already set up. All I got to do is literally just show Keith how to use the camera really quick and head up to the top, and you'll shoot a photo and he'll grab a video.
Mm-hmm.
So I decide that, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. So I ask Eric. He's kind of hesitant about it, and I'm like, look, man, I'm not trying to be a dick. Think about it from my standpoint. I want to do this rail just as much as you. He's like, all right, let's do it. So I try it a couple times, eat shit on it.
Yeah, you wrecked a couple times.
Wrecked a couple times pretty hard, and head back to the top every time. Finally pulled it. You got a photo, which isn't on here, but it's a really, really cool photo that I think is...
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been on my Facebook banner or whatever for years since that.
That's
but
cool.
It's also in the book, I think. I think it might be in the book. I have to check.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'll grab that in a minute. But anyways, we shoot that photo, and then we decide that we're going to head out and go and shoot something else. So we go to this school that's really close to here, and Jesse shows up with his buddy Brad. We've got a whole little crew going, and we really didn't have any plans to shoot anything big.
He was super hungover, wasn't he?
He was so hungover. He
didn't even want to ride.
He literally did not want to ride at all. But the fact that you were there, and I kind of was like, man, this is one of the only times we're gonna get to do this. We should really try this out. He's like, all right, fine. So he does a huge wall ride to flat warm up. You got an incredible photo of that, which I love as well. Then we hanging out for a bit. I kind of throw the idea at Jesse to do this gap to hanger.
I thought it was a joke. We
it was
all
kind of a joke.
Were jokingly yeah, you should hanger it.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, he kind of laughed.
And then, sure enough, he fucking tries to pegs it, I think. He either tried to ice it or he tried to
pegs it, but that was a stupid idea.
Yeah, he tried to pegs the flat, which is really dumb. And he decided that, you know what, he can get onto it, so he might as well try it.
Yeah.
And the first try, he... I can't remember. The first try, he ate a ton of shit, I think.
I think on the first try, well, at least from... Yeah, because I remember he was looking at it, and I was kind of I had my camera out, but I wasn't really set up. And as soon as he jumped on that pegs, and it was I think he went pegs and then tried to go down, and he
just nose dive.
But as soon as he did that, down. I was like, oh, I better set up. It's the same thing when someone's doing something like that. I'm just
it's better to have everything set up and have to tear it down,
Yeah, exactly. And then it's the same thing. I don't want to miss it, first of all.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to be in the zone and then be like, oh, hang on, give me a minute.
Yeah. But anyways, so I think Jesse tried to, I think I remember now, Jesse tried to hanger it. He had to jump off after he hangered it, during the drop.
Did he get pitched over the bars the first time? Or was it after the drop?
I think
remember.
It was after.
He landed on his feet on the first try.
Yeah, the first try he landed on his feet. He had to jump off the bike and throw it away after the hanger.
Mm-hmm.
Second try, he got pitched forward and kind of landed and ended up popping his tube. Got a pinch flat.
Two sideways, I think.
Yeah, two sideways, pinch flat. So then we're racing to fucking... throw a new tube in his bike or just do something to make sure that he can actually pull this. And, we get a new tube in, we throw everything together, and no hesitation, goes right up to the top and fucking pulls it.
It's third try, just stomped it.
Yeah, and it's such a clean-looking clip, and, I think the photo does it way more justice than the clip. I think I could have done a little bit better filming it, but the photo is always what's blown my mind. It's always been a top, it's probably one of my favorite photos of all time, which is awesome.
One of those things, like even me and my friends talk about it. Like we always joke about filming with CR because like he always lands stuff like first or second try, and we're always like, dude, like I didn't have time to get like the filming right. Like sometimes it takes a few tries to like get. Especially you were trying to do like a pretty complicated shot where you like rolled across.
Yeah,
getting the timing on that stuff's just really hard.
It is very difficult. The shot isn't terrible, but I think like in post I ended up actually pulling the clip a little more forward. Mm-hmm. So in this case, it does help to actually have a 4K camera because then you don't get a really pixelated clip.
Yeah.
Like I know that I had to do like try and steady it and do all this other stuff with it, and it really didn't look too great by the end of it, but still the photo does it so much more justice. And
thank you.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
I think this is the best picture I've ever taken.
And then after this, we went and shot Feeble Easy 3 on a huge drop as well that night. And that photo is one of my favorites as well because we took you took the clouds and the sky and made it like spacey, which is really cool.
Yeah, because it really didn't turn out that great photo-wise.
Yeah.
And there was just not a lot of light, and I had that crappy fisheye.
Yeah.
And then, like you said earlier about editing, I'm definitely not like a purist when it comes to photography. I think editing is part of it for me, like, turning the photo into something interesting. So yeah, I just dropped in a sky or whatever.
Yeah, it was really cool anyways though, man. I really liked the way that you did it. I think in the end though, my like co-creator for my show as well as Space Goats, Rob, he ended up taking the photo and putting like the space colors that we were using for the actual video in there, which is really cool. So it ended up looking really good by the end of it.
Yeah, you guys re-edited it, and I think it turned out better.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you. So yeah, and before we end it off here, I want to actually I want to see that zine that photo was put into. So here, I'm just gonna switch the camera back, and
yeah, switch the camera back. Here it is, people, right here.
How did this come about? What is this zine called, and where are they from?
This is Push It a Stop zine. What's his name? Scott Marceau. I'm bad with pronouncing names. Yeah, he just had he runs a Instagram page, I think a website too, but we're just on Instagram. He put out a thing like open submissions for it, and I was always like, oh man, like someone you look up to.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was almost the same vibe as the photo where I just kind of like, it was almost started out as a joke.
Right.
I just was like, oh, whatever, I'll send this photo in. And then I got back that night and he was like, whoa, like this is crazy. Like send me, because I just sent him like an Instagram version or whatever.
Right.
So he's like, send me the full one. And then I sent it out, and then I didn't think it was going to happen at first. He's like, oh, like what's going on here? Like, is this kind of photoshopped? And obviously it's a sequence. Obviously it's Photoshop, but I did definitely push it a bit with the editing on that.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it turned out cool.
Oh, I love the way that
Interesting.
The original, aka the sequence photo, turned out. I love the way that one turned out.
Yeah, so he wasn't 100% sure on the sequence. Hang on, I'm trying to find it here. He wasn't so sure on the sequence. He asked if I could send the original one, which I almost didn't do. I was almost like, got that artist thing where I was like, no, like this is my creation, blah, blah, blah. I don't want it. But I was like, dude, who cares? It's a photo, right? So, yes, I don't know if you guys can see this. Here it is. There you go.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, he wanted to. Yeah, go ahead, look through that. Sean Burns is on the page next to it too, which I think is
is pretty sick, eh?
My photo is next to a Sean Burns interview in a magazine, which is just the craziest thing, especially growing up in like the era I did. I mean, that's the dude.
Yeah, Burns is unreal, man. I've actually I've had a couple conversations with them just online and whatnot, and it's kind of cool to see somebody that like I look up to the way that he rides just because it's so gnarly and so like mid school. I love that feel from it, and it's so cool to see something like that and be actually able to talk to the guy Because a lot of the people, like, I've messaged Drew Bezanson so many times to try and get him on the podcast or just to talk to him in general, and never got a response, never have heard anything from him. Like, I've met him so many times in person and had conversations with him. He's a really good dude.
Nicest
but
guy.
Like, social media wise, he's not answering because he gets fucking 500 messages a day. Like,
probably doesn't even see him. The first time I actually ever like saw him in person was at Joyride, and he introduced himself to me. He was like, "Hi, I'm Drew," and I was like, "Yeah, dude, like I know." I know who you are. But yeah, there's some like legit people in that magazine, and just there's a few random guys too, like people I follow on Instagram. This, I forget his last name, this Kirby dude, I saw in there, and I was like, oh, you know, I see the names in the front, and then there's a photo as well from this mountain bike guy, Tom, what's his last name, Killicone or something?
Might be right.
Tom K. The most stylish mountain bike rider there is, like street rider. He is the dude. So yeah, getting to see my photo in a magazine, even it's just a little flip photo book or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting that in there it was crazy, man. It was something special.
This is a really cool little photo book. I really like what this guy has done, and you know, the page after is actually it's a bunch of bands on here, and one of the bands here, Boys Night Out, I've actually listened to them for quite a while. They're really cool too. They are Canadian, and I like that they're doing like little interviews and shit like that. It's really fucking cool that this dude is also doing stuff with music, and not just like BMX stuff. But here's like some more photos in there if you can see them. But
oh yeah, you can see this.
Yeah, it's push it to stop, right?
Yep, push it to stop, and I think that's on everything on Instagram and all that. So yeah, I think that's my my accomplishment in photography.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna grab my DVD and see if I have the photo of the rail in there, and then I think after that we'll probably end her off. So
sounds good.
Be right
man.
back. I don't have to go far.
I shall entertain everybody.
There you go.
Hello. Oh, yeah, you're back.
Luckily, I keep everything pretty close. So.
And I just want to say, I think what you guys do with the DVD and the crew and everything
is
super legit.
Well, thank you, man. I try and keep everything super professional, like when it comes to the actual finished product. But when it comes to filming with everybody, like I can't do it with anybody else, right? Like everybody is just such a good like crew, and everybody's always done really good together, and it's nice. I love to film with everybody. So actually, it's the first page on here. So like there's the cover, and then the one after that. So you're a lot taller. You can hold that up there.
Hold this up for you guys. There's those two pictures. This way.
There you go. First two.
The
That's
rail.
fucking pretty cool, eh?
And
I'm going to see. There's a big version of the Feeble 3 that we were chatting about earlier in here. There we go. It's very dark when it was printed out, but the final copy on the actual computer is very, very, very bright.
Yep, it looks better on the computer.
Yeah, but still super cool sequence photo as well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. I'm glad I could be a part of that. It was so cool that you guys did like a premiere and all this, and even showing up and people be like, oh, like everyone was excited to see me there, even though I don't come out and like film with you guys or anything. I had a couple clips, which was cool. I forgot about.
Of course.
But yeah, that was a really, really cool night, and getting to be a little part of things like that, like with my photography, like getting to be a part of that, or my friend's wedding, or whatever. I think that's
it's always kind of a heartwarming thing, eh? It's nice to.
Yeah, I think that's the best part. Like when you asked me to look through the photos and send you photos, I had so many where it was like, the photos aren't good, but just so many memories and stuff. Like they all mean so much to me. So I think that's my favorite part about all of this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Chris, I think we're going to end it off here. You got anything else you want to say?
No, I think this is a perfect place to end it.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you again for coming out and chatting about everything. It's always good to hang out with you, man. So we'll have to ride soon and maybe shoot some photos. We'll see.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we're gonna end it there. And this is Pulling Teeth by the Cardboard Crowns. Have a good one.
There's 1,000 things they'll teach you just before they turn to leech you of your soul and all your time. And they'll be so pleased to meet you and to know if they can treat you to a meal and pour the wine. Then they'll tell you that you want it, and they'll show you how to flaunt it at the same time as you climb. When you're so wowed by all the glamour, you can't even feel the hammer as it shatters through your spine. But I didn't get the words they said, and I never learned to write between the lines before you read, and they tell you you're alone. And you start to sense the tightness of the rope you walk or hang. They've got 8 fingers in your pies, and the last 2 in your eyes hide the glistening of their fangs. We could hear the words not said slip between their gritting teeth and make their way inside your head, and they tell you you're so close. There's 10,000 things to teach you to facilitate the breach into your head, your heart, and your mind. And if you dare not meet projections, you find despite their best objections, they will cast you from their side. And you will shout that you don't want it, and you'll scream at them to stop it, till your wounds are packed with salt. When at last you've been depleted, on the table set and seated, they will tell you it's your fault. But I didn't get the words they said, I never learned to write between the lines.